my gosh. What's up,
what
y'all?
up,
Welcome
man?
to
How
the
y'all doing,
More
man?
Watts podcast.
And we are in Rafa, Miami.
Yes, we are in MIA.
MIA.
It's beautiful, by the
weather.
way. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You home back in Jersey. You already know what it is, man.
Cold as shit, y'all.
Yes.
Very cold. But it's not here.
Nah.
You see what I got on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Got on
So
my thotty shorts today.
We out here.
now you're gonna say what I was about to say. Hoochie Daddy joints, but hey, we're gonna keep that quiet.
Season 2.
You should have seen him before. What he had on before, he was for real. Zipped all the way
My
down
chest
to the
was
navel.
open.
Taco
I'm in
meat
Miami.
showing.
Taco meat
You know what I'm
showing.
saying? With the
I'm
chains.
in Miami.
We were
My
like,
chest was
Chad.
open.
Like, what is
First
really
off,
happening?
I don't have taco meat. Let's be clear.
He shaves it.
No.
I'm just
No.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
Anyways,
We got a guest again.
We do.
Introduce
do.
yourself.
Hi, I'm Sheerie.
Cherie, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
I'm Chris. Tron Rides on IG. And of
wait.
course,
Sheerie, do you have an Instagram handle? Please
I do.
share it.
It's at love_re23.
That's right.
That's right. When you follow Sheerie,
Make
she gives
sure.
you all the training tips.
Yes.
She's in these streets early in the morning on the bike,
Yes.
putting in that work.
Gotta get it in.
Because last season,
She was on podiums. Like, every time you turn
2022
around, every
was
race.
Cherie's year.
Yeah.
yes.
Didn't you win like a state championship?
I did.
Oh.
I am the current Florida State crit champion.
See?
Wow. From zero to
Yeah,
champion.
word.
What?
Oh, that's it. We
It's a
should.
pretty exciting season.
Yes,
Absolutely.
and she's a fellow HBCU alum. Shout out
Yes.
FAMU.
Shout out.
FAMU Rattlers. Stand
And
up.
your sorority is?
Delta Sigma Theta
That's what I'm
Sorority
talking about.
Incorporated. Ooh.
Yes.
I knew that
Well,
was
all
coming.
right.
I knew that was
Yes.
coming.
I knew it was coming.
That's what it is.
What's up, y'all? I am Chad, IG Chad Bennett.
Isak, no IG, but please follow the Black Watch Cycling page.
Yes. Follow us on Black Watch Cycling IG. Also on YouTube, if you search Black Watch Cycling, you can find us there and watch all of our amazing content. We're also on Spotify, we're on Apple iTunes, and we're also on SoundCloud.
Yes.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
That's where you can find us.
So, Sheerie, thank you for
Yes.
joining us.
Thank
This
you
is
for having me.
exciting.
Appreciate it.
I would love to understand your journey into how you got into cycling. How long have you been cycling? All of that good stuff.
It's been a good 2 years.
Okay, so you're a pandemic cyclist like
Yes,
us, basically.
I am. I bought my first bike in 2020 during COVID lockdown for fitness. I was just looking for some kind of activity to get into. I used to just go to the gym a lot, and then when the gyms were closed on COVID, I had to find something to kind
Word.
of occupy my time, and I picked up a bike.
And now you're a state champion.
And now you're a stage. Wait,
Amazing.
so what did you do prior to cycling? Were you into sports before? Did you have a sport before?
I was not a athlete. Well, not a true athlete. Like I didn't play basketball, run track, or
Nothing in school?
I used to cheerlead, but we weren't like, you
Or
know,
like all-star cheerleading?
no,
tumbling?
we weren't tumbling.
So,
And,
so you were like Palm?
yes.
Yes.
Got you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm interested to hear, one, what kind of bike you have, and also your setup.
I currently ride the Tarmac SL7.
Okay.
Nice. And
All
where did you
right.
start? Was that where you started, or?
I had the first bike that I purchased was actually a hybrid.
Like most folks.
most people.
Like most people.
And initially, I was like, I'm not going to spend over $200. $250 is my max. And then I went into a store, local store, and it was like $600 hybrids. And I was like, what kind of super bike is this? But I ended up buying the hybrid. Started out with the hybrid, did that for about a month, and then I purchased my first road bike, which was the SL6.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. That's a beautiful color. I've seen you on that bike.
Yes.
Yeah, we came on
Yes.
the first
All right.
one.
Well, talk about your setup. What group set do you have? What kind of wheels? What size wheels?
Well, I have the Roval.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of the
Yeah.
model.
Is it the one that came standard with the bike?
No. I upgraded.
Nice.
So got to be the CLX, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm running Shimano.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you know it crank?
So
Your size?
52.
36?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's the standard size. Yeah.
Now, are you like a gadget kind of person? Or you just like, listen, my bike is set up. I ride what I have.
That's pretty much it. As long as it rides and I can sprint and go fast, I'm happy.
That's all that matters.
That's all that.
Yes. When was the first time you realized, like, yo, I caught the cycling bug?
I would say when I did one of my first group rides with Big Wheels, which is a local bike shop. They're actually one of my race sponsors. And they're known for having like this fast crit race type ride on Tuesdays and Thursday evenings. And when I was able to go and ride and hang with the guys, I was like, listen, I think I can do this.
Nice.
I think I can do this.
Nice.
And so I don't know, I just was very consistent at first with riding the bike. I mean, I'm still consistent now, but I would ride every day. I enjoy just challenging myself. Like, okay, today I'm going to try to push to 10 miles. Because, you know, when you first start riding, 10 miles, 20 miles is like, woo.
Right.
You might as well said you're riding to Georgia. Like,
And so once I reached certain milestones and it just became, more fluid and more easy, I was like, okay, I got this.
Dope.
What about that first race? And what even got you to say, you know what, I'm about to sign up for this crit?
So I had actually went to go and watch certain races first. Because at first I was like, I'm not doing racing. Like, I'm too old. I got a career. Like, I'm out here paying bills. I can't, afford to
take it down.
Take it down,
I guess, spend hella money on his bike. I can't, afford to crash and things of that nature. But I actually went to some of the local races and saw them. And then my first professional race was in Utah. And that's when I saw Legion and some of the other professional crit teams. And I was like, you know what? I think I might want to give it a try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you caught that bug.
I did.
Are you naturally competitive, though?
I am.
Okay, so, yeah, that makes sense.
So let's run this back. You didn't play sports outside
No.
of palm cheering, which most people don't consider a sport.
No, they don't.
According to my daughter, it is a sport.
Okay.
So let's be clear.
All right. You started cycling during the pandemic.
Yes.
Okay. You're competitive.
Yes.
All right. Do you have brothers or sisters?
I have 2 younger sisters.
Okay. Were your mom or dad into sports?
My dad played football.
Like
and-
professionally?
No, like in high school.
Like in high school. Okay. So your genetics must be insane. Because for you, we don't need to know how old you are, but for you to not have played a sport, and then now you start riding your bike 24 months ago or so, 30 months ago, and then you are faster than anybody else in the state in your category. Like, that is insane.
Is the hate real?
It has to be. Like, where'd she come from? Like,
The hate's got to be real. Like, do you sense the energy? Like, who is this? Where'd she come from? Why is she winning?
Of course it's going to be there. It's
Do
going
you
to be
feel
there.
it? So when we were in Chicago, I knew the hate was real for Bahati just based on how everyone was riding around him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you experience that?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
describe this a little. I mean, you don't have to point out anybody or any teams, but describe what it's like to be in the peloton, because you're in the peloton in a winning position, right? Like, so what is it like? Like when Chad is saying around him, can you describe that a little bit? Like, do people say things to you? Do they bump you? Like, what is that like?
So women, we aren't as aggressive as some of the male pelotons. Women are more verbal. So we don't tend to, shoulder bump or rub. We're more verbal. So you'll hear, certain things while you're on the bike. But as far as like positioning, I think I've learned how to position myself better in a race to not get boxed in. Like early on when I first started racing, I would allow people to box me in, like get in front of me, on the side of me, where I had no way to move. But once I overcame that and learned more skills as far as racing, I was able to just overcome it and become victorious in those races.
With with other obviously teams, professional or otherwise, it's typically like a lead out. There's a sprinter. You're at this point, or even when you first started, you were riding for yourself, by yourself. Yes.
I still currently ride for myself.
So your strategy has to be wildly different than everybody else.
Yes.
Especially people are lining up with 3 and 4 and 5 participants.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't race with teammates. I did the abundance grant over the summer.
Right.
A lot of us were at different levels, so it was kind of hard to work together as a team.
Yeah.
But all of the races that I've done last season, I was racing pretty much by myself, solo.
I honestly feel like that's a great way to start.
Yeah.
Like you're not leaning on anyone. Not to say that teams lean on one another. Like they're all talented because they're out there, but you're understanding how to maneuver solo. Like
Yes.
there's no lead out for you.
No.
That's dope to me.
Yes.
So, do you feel like there's a target on your back going into 2023?
I
I mean, you're the champion. Like,
You're-
Coming, they
you're
definitely
literally
coming
on
to
the
get
top
you.
of the
Word
mountain.
up.
I
And do
would
you-
probably say so.
And do you feel like there's a certain level of pressure?
A little bit of pressure, maybe from individuals that may want to see how much more I can elevate and do better. Like, can I outdo my last season? But I feel like I'm only trying to prove it to myself that I can do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, and just for everybody who doesn't know, like in crits, there's obviously different categories that lead up to professional. Where do you are right now?
I'm currently Cat 3.
Okay. And so when you started at 5 or did
I
you jump?
started at 5.
Yeah.
So within 1 year, I went up 2 categories.
Because you
amazing.
were
You were
winning.
Yeah.
You were winning all the time.
Yeah. So in order to move up, for those that don't know, you start out as a novice.
Yep.
In category 5, and then after a certain amount of time or races, I think now you can decide to actually
can move yourself to
catch
4.
yourself up to 4, but you can't move up from 4 to 3 unless you score a certain number of points.
Yes.
Or winning them, like, yeah.
So
Place,
every
yeah.
win you get like points.
Right.
So Sheerie started from 0 and got enough points to move to category 3.
Yes.
Right? Because did you boost yourself up to 4? Or did you automatically get pushed to 4?
I got pushed up to 4.
Right. So she didn't self-select to 4. She earned her way to 4, earned her way to 3, and then won the state championship.
Yes.
That is amazing.
I don't know. Y'all got to check out her IG page. It's too many podium stands, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, man.
I love the humbleness.
She is so
stuff.
humble. Like, this woman is incredibly fast, yo. Like,
Sometimes you gotta flex on them though.
yeah.
Let them know for real.
You gotta let them know you about your business.
I
Now,
know.
what
You know
was one
I'm
of the
saying?
more challenging parts of this season for you?
One of the more challenging parts this season was staying race fit. Like, you know, as you're training, you train, and there's a time where you peak, where you're at your top fitness.
Yeah.
And then you can only be at your top fitness for so long until you begin to, phase down. And then trying to peak multiple times throughout the season to be race ready, I would say that was the most difficult part. In addition to that, still managing work, life, everything outside of the bike. With that added can also be a challenge.
Yeah, because training is like a legit time commitment.
It is.
Like, there's no way you can like spend an hour a week on the bike
No.
and expect gains.
No.
So how do you do it? Like, can you give us an idea of what a typical training week would look like for you?
So I do sacrifice. So I have a 4:30, sometimes 4 a.m. alarm set 6 days out of the week.
Everybody listen, this is what's required to be a champion. Or at least have the potential to be a champion.
Yes.
4 a.m.
4 a.m. I'm on the bike by 5, no later than 5:15, and I'm doing my workouts, my trainings. All of them are solo. So I really only get to do a group ride once a week, and that's with Rafa.
Okay.
And then from there, I'm at work by 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Wow.
Work 8 hours. Go to the gym after work.
2 a days.
2 a day. Wait, so what are we doing in the gym? Like, are you working on mobility, strength, combination?
Strength,
Strength.
but not so much heavy weights, the lighter weights, but more repetition.
5 repetitions. We try to tell you, boy. We try to
Yeah,
tell you.
We've been trying to explain to Chris.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a work in progress.
It's a strategy right there.
He doesn't listen to either
Yeah,
one of
high
us.
reps.
I listen just slowly.
We
mean, you-
literally have been talking to Chris for like a month now.
About the same thing.
About
Yeah.
strength training.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
But
We
she
go, Chris, go to the gym.
Yeah.
And he goes and plays basketball.
That is true. That is in fact true. That is true. But I'm trying to turn over a new leaf. This week is going to be my week. This week is going to be my week.
But Sheerie, you kind of got a, well, compared to us, you got a cheat code because we're here in Miami. So the number of days that you can get outside and just get busy, that's crazy compared to, trainer or what have you.
Yes.
So, I mean, like, explain or describe that as far as what it's like to practice or train out of Miami, out of this area.
So training in Miami, so when you have to consider weather and also traffic. So Miami is a lovely city. It's flat, but I can say that it is not the most cycling friendly place. Like you'll see limited bike lanes.
Okay.
You have certain areas where you can, go and get your training done nonstop without any, cars interrupting. So that's why another reason why I choose to go so early and not
right.
after work. In
Makes
addition to
sense.
that, the weather, yes, today is beautiful, but typically Miami is known for its heat
Sure is.
and humidity. So if you don't get out early enough, and say if you try to go like 10 o'clock in the morning or even after 12 o'clock, it's a done deal.
Yeah.
We felt that today.
Yes, with the weather.
That sun was beating.
Someone asked me on a ride, so how you holding up? I said, it's hot as shit.
Yes. And today was nice. It wasn't hot.
Yeah, it was just the sun.
Yes.
The sun will beat you up here. So like summer long sleeves are so beneficial.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
That track, I thought it was just us, but the traffic was crazy. So that's all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
All
nuts.
the
Where are
time.
people going?
But I also do ride my trainer. So
Okay.
I do the indoor training as well. The days that I don't wake up in the morning, I still make sure that I do my workouts on the trainer in the evening.
How often are you, like, how long are you on a trainer at a given time?
I would say 1 to 2 hours
For
Yeah.
the week or
No,
for
no,
a
no,
given
no.
session?
For
for
that
a given
session.
session.
Okay.
Yes. Unless I have to do like my zone 2 endurance, which I prefer to do outside because
Yes.
those are 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I've done that on trainers and I don't really like it.
Right. Not too many people like
4 to 5 hours in the trainer saddle?
Yes. I mean, I have a good movie on, but
that.
it's still, it doesn't compare.
It's
yeah.
not the same. It's not the same. What being in the sport for 2 years, what frustrates you about criterium racing for you as a woman, a black woman?
I would probably say just opportunity. And even when it comes to race teams, there's not a lot of women race teams or even openings for women race teams. Like they don't, I think like maybe one team this year are no longer, how can I say it? They decided to dissolve their team. So now their racers are going to other teams. So teams as far as also development, it's not a lot of development teams. They just want you to be pro already. Like
Yeah.
Cat
ready.
1 and 2.
Yeah, right now.
Yes. So you still have to, put in the work in order to get 1 and 2. And then when you get 1 and 2, then you have to find a team that has an opening for you to potentially apply
Right.
for that team.
Which is weird because if I made it to 1 or 2 by myself, I'm good, right?
I'm gonna stay that way.
Kind of.
Well, I think when you get to that level, there are teams there, so there's more strategy, I think.
Yeah, but for someone like Sheerie, she's been winning solo. So at this point,
I mean, ideally, you would think she would be like a highly sought after free agent, quote unquote, so to speak, right? So she should be able to join a team. People should be coming to you, but
yeah.
Yeah, but a team
Maybe
in the
like
sense
that.
of, because you mentioned the abundance,
The abundance grants. Mhm.
yeah, the grant. That's Aisha Began, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so like if she found a team or like a organization to back her, like, hey, we'll take care of travel or parts, bikes, all that. So to do that by yourself, that's a heavy lift. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, so to find
Especially
a team
with
would be beneficial.
traveling.
Yeah.
Yes.
No bike brands?
No bike brands. No, not yet.
Listen, we need to get, you know what I'm saying?
okay.
Sponsorships.
I would love to have a bike sponsor.
Yeah,
Heard that?
it's
It's in the
necessary.
ethos.
It's out there for real.
Put it
out
out there, Sheerie. Just say it.
What bike brand do you want to sponsor?
If you had to
I mean,
pick.
you
I
had to
currently ride Specialized. I love Specialized. I ride a size 44, and it's hard to find an extra small frame.
Yeah.
Because I'm 4'11", so I'm also
For
tiny.
real?
Yeah.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
4'11", but
Size
she ride like
44.
she's 7'2". She ride like she's 7'2". Better watch it.
W's.
Wow, I honestly didn't know they made size 44.
Yes.
I didn't know that either.
I believe Trek also makes like a 44 or 43, or maybe a 46.
Yeah, that Madonna
would
had
be-
that Sterling. It
Oh,
was-
yeah.
it
Which
was
would
a
be
44.
comparable to the tarmac.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there was a Madone that sat
That was that small.
Yeah.
We were like,
super
why?
small. I was like, why?
Why would you
Now,
have that?
how is it managing your personal life, right? If you are waking up at 4 a.m., 4:30, making sure you're getting your ride started no later than 5:15, and then you're doing gym in the evening, you still
Yes.
have to eat,
Yes.
You know, like how are you managing your relationships with loved ones and
So that's where some of the sacrifice comes in, because I mean I'm very family oriented, and then not only that, I'm very involved in my sorority. Like I sit on the e-board for my chapter.
You got sorority business tomorrow.
Tomorrow I do. Like in the morning at 7:30, we have community service. So I'm not gonna ride in the morning. I'll do community service with my chapter, and then afterwards I'll probably get on the trainer and do my workout. So
Because it's hot as hell.
yes.
Yeah. That makes
So
sense.
that's where some of the sacrifice comes in. But then also my family and my friends, like my inner circle, they are very excited about this journey. Like they travel with me to my races. Like they are. So when's the next race? Where are we going now? Which city are we going to? Like they are super
all in,
excited. They
yeah.
are.
Shout out Prissy Petals.
Yes,
Yes,
Adrian.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so they're super excited, and I think just having them support me and not having that extra pressure, like, well, why don't you do this with us, and why don't you do that with us? Like they are with me on this journey,
That's
so they
dope.
understand everything.
Yeah,
That's
speaking of that, like we saw you in Elgin out in at Intelligentsia in Chicago.
Yes,
And we're from Jersey, so we're down here now. Like traveling is becoming a big part of cycling.
Yes.
Just period, whether you're pro or, just enjoying it. So have you, over the last couple of years, I'm sure you've done a lot. I mean, once everything opened up, but a lot of traveling, yes? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that's something that going forward, like we're going to try to get into more.
yes.
But yeah, again, I think this is exactly why you would need a team or, or sponsor, somebody with resources to make that possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's on the agenda for 2023 in terms of races that you want to do?
So I do have a lot of, well, not a lot. I do have some out-of-town races lined up. Like I enjoy traveling and racing. I mean, the competition here is great, but you kind of see the same thing every time.
yeah.
And you
I mean,
whooped
once
up
you
on 'em.
beat them, you beat them.
You whooped up on everybody already. It's over with.
Like, all right, I know what she gonna do. I know what she gonna do. All right, she can't
You-
out sprint me.
She
bad
can't
in
keep her
corners.
line. Oh man.
She doesn't really pick her lines well.
Yeah.
She good.
But I do plan to do Tour of Dairyland again.
Okay.
I enjoyed Tour of Dairyland. I'm also possibly doing, I believe the race is called Valley of the Sun
Yes, in Arizona.
in
right?
Arizona.
Okay.
So that will probably kick off my race season
Okay.
next year.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So let's piggyback on that. Let's hold there for a second. So obviously we talked a little bit about local racing. We can probably get a little more into that, but let's talk about racing away from home.
Yes.
This season that you just finished up, what was your favorite race?
Toad.
Which one?
Tour of Dairyland.
Tour of Dairyland.
Toad
Okay.
in Milwaukee.
Okay, and why?
I enjoyed the courses. I enjoyed the community. Like the community was very supportive. They embraced the races. I just enjoyed it. Like I liked it a lot.
So what was it about the courses? Because some of us haven't been to Milwaukee, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't been there. So what was it? Was it the topography? Was it the way the course was laid out?
So if I compare it to like our local races here in Miami, we're basically just going in a circle. But in Toad, you would go, sometimes there would be crits with 7 corners. And that was my first time
wow.
ever experiencing that. You do have some crits with a little elevation. That was my first time also experiencing that, because in Miami, everything is flat.
Right. It's just
bridge
Biscayne and
or
that's
two,
it.
Yeah.
Bridge, right.
So I like the diversity of the races. There was also a circuit race, which was similar to a road race. We went around the course about 3 times, and that was also fun. So I just like the variety of the courses.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not just one, 4-corner crit.
Gotcha. So after Toad, where did you go next?
After Toad, I went to, where did I go? Oh, Chicago.
I was gonna say, I know where you went.
Intelligentsia.
right.
I went to Chicago.
So you went to Intelligentsia.
Intelligentsia Cup
Yep.
was fun. I only raced 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. It's 11. That's a lot.
Yeah,
So
I only
what
raced
was
the
it
first.
like doing 5 days of racing?
5 days was
Because
fun.
Toad is only 3, right?
No, Toad is 11 days.
Oh, so you
Same,
did
yeah.
all 11?
I did 7 days at Toad.
Wow. Okay, I thought you only did 3 at
And
Toad.
you still manage work
I
and
still manage work. I
Thank
did
you for
7
virtual
days.
working. Whoever employs
sure.
her.
Taking calls
Thank
after
you.
the race.
For sure. And also at Toad, that's when I placed 3rd overall in the Omnium. So that was also exciting.
So let's pull back a little bit. to place third, that means that you have to score points for every race.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you scored enough points.
Yes.
So that by the end of the event,
Yes.
you ended up being third in total points scored.
Correct.
So did you win any? Did you podium any?
Yes.
Of course. What you mean?
I know she did,
Yeah.
but the audience doesn't know that.
Podium. That's a
podiuming
nickname,
away.
man. Word.
Okay, question. What did you do to keep your legs fresh on those days?
You really want to know?
Yeah,
True
absolutely.
story. So after the race, I would go back to our Airbnb and I would lay down and put my legs on the wall.
So the lactic acid can fall.
Yep. And keep the blood flowing fresh. And I would just rest my legs. I wouldn't go out. Maybe 1 or 2 times I would go back out to watch the pro races. But for the most part, I was at the Airbnb fueling, eating, and resting my legs.
You're giving up secrecy. You probably
No, but listen,
somebody writing.
I'm about to go do that
about to
tonight.
say,
now.
right, so look, how long were you with your legs on the wall like that?
I would say about 30 minutes.
Okay, so that's not bad.
Yeah, 30 minutes, rest, and then put them back up if I need to.
Y'all still can't beat her though.
Right.
I'm
Do
about to
that
go
if
do
you
that.
will.
About to
But
go do
then
that
I
tonight.
did invest in leg compression boots after that.
See,
got
when
it.
he asked that question because he knew that's where she was going. He
I
was,
have
I
them.
did.
I got them too.
I have
They
them.
They
So
clutch.
by the time I went to Chicago, I had my leg compression boots, and I was like, okay, this
Did you
is much
still
better.
do the legs on the wall
No.
and with them? Because the
No.
compression gave you the similar.
Yes.
Right, right. So do you use like a Theragun or anything with the compressive?
I have.
Okay. Do you feel like it helps you with kind of like refreshing getting
Recovery.
out knots and recovery and stuff?
Absolutely.
Same? Okay, so now let's talk about Intelligentsia a little more. So that was 4 or 5 days there.
Yes.
What were some of the challenges at Intelligentsia? Because
Challenges?
Intelligentsia did have. Remember, you guys were telling me that there was one where it was like an uphill into a wicked downhill into a
Yeah,
left
that was
turn.
Elgin.
That was Elgin.
Yeah, that was
Elgin,
Elgin.
right.
yeah.
How was that?
I enjoyed Intelligentsia. I would say that's my second best series that I would probably do again. So Intelligentsia was good. I think I made podium 4 times out of the 5 days that I raced.
And she didn't finish because she had to go do other things. If she had stayed, what she's
Shipped
telling you
everybody
is, she would have.
But Intelligentsia was fun. I enjoyed it. And that they had a road race one of the days. So that was also different. And with the road race, they set it up like, so our category would go and then men would go like 10 minutes after we leave. So you would like see them passing as we're passing on the left, you would see them passing on the right. So I never experienced that either. Like
That's
I'm used to just
interesting.
having the course to ourselves.
Right. So did that provide a challenge for you or
More
inspire
the-
you in any way? Or?
I'm not gonna say a challenge, more of a distraction because you're like, whoa, what are they doing?
Right.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
That's dope.
A lot of pros out there.
Yes.
I know you in those travels are you obviously meeting people, but I mean you're connecting with different professionals and anybody drop any jewels on you, any type of lessons.
Yes, I love talking to Mr. Bahati, and of course
Mr. Bahati.
Mr. Bahati.
Sharon. Like Sharon drops so many gems to me. Like even through social media, we still keep in contact. Whenever we do see each other at races, like he tells me that I'm doing good. I didn't know that he would watch, my races. I'm thinking he's home resting for his race, but he would tell me good job, give me pointers, and just encourage me. So I'm very thankful.
Definitely.
That's dope.
For the
That's
wisdom.
dope.
That's dope. Okay.
That they're wrapping their arm. I mean, but that speaks. So let's hold on that because they're wrapping their arms around you, where otherwise you wouldn't have had that, right? So that's
Yeah.
huge that they're paying it forward in that way. Yeah.
And of course, Aisha McGowan as well. I met her through her grant. And so, I have that open communication with her as well. So I'm thankful for her.
So basically, she's saying, ladies, that she has 3 pros, okay, on her board.
She doesn't have a team, but she got
She
3 pros.
She has 3 pros, 3 veteran pros at that.
Yes.
Right.
No, that's the community though. That's beautiful that you could get that type of support, whether
So
you have
now-
a team or not. So that's dope.
Sorry about that, Ox. So now, like, when you're there and you're doing these races away, do you know any of the people? Are there some familiar faces? Do you have any like race buddies? So like, even though you're there by yourself, you're like, yo, she's a good wheel.
No, you kind of figure that out while you're racing.
Gotcha.
Yes. So I'm very observant. As soon as we line up, I pay attention to, how people are their disposition, and then by the first or second lap, I can tell who's a good will to be on and who's not.
You could tell who's shaky, who's
Yeah.
over there looking nervous in his
even on
saddle,
group
bro.
rides.
Yep, seriously. You look at how they're taking corners. You can tell like who's trying to conserve energy, who's antsy, who's going to be up there attacking.
That
who
body
wants
language
to,
speaking, right? Like,
be the workhorse and
yeah.
pull us the entire way, so you can identify them.
Nice,
Early.
nice. So
Yeah.
when you're done, because we talked about a little bit about the Peloton is very different, but for some of them, it's their first time seeing you actually race. So they're like, "Hold on, like I didn't know." Okay, like so do people ever celebrate you? Like, yo, good race, like.
Yes, absolutely. So especially like at Toad, some of the young ladies, they would come up to me after the race, or when we meet at the podium, like, "Oh, you're super strong," or "Oh, you're fast," and I'm like, "Well, thanks, you too."
Right.
I'm up here.
see?
Yes, I'm super
That's
fast.
super fast. That's why I'm on the podium next to you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
But then you also kind of mark them just as they've marked me. So when you see them again the
course.
next day and you're racing, okay, I know what this person is capable of. Yeah.
Somebody looking at you like, I'm getting on that wheel.
Now, have you experienced? All right, they've marked you. You guys have marked each other. But is there ever a situation that you've experienced thus far where people are like, "Yo, like let's work together"?
No.
What?
Interesting. So
No.
even though
That's
you know what I mean? 'Cause
crazy.
it's like cooperative. You know, it's like competition, right? Like we're going to work together.
Like single people who are not on the team.
right? You know what I
No.
mean? Like we're going to break away. We're going to establish the break. We're going to
No.
stay away. Wow.
That's crazy. I thought that would be the case.
No.
Not even if it's advantageous to them. Like, I'm going to just ride. I'm trying to dust you, but I'm going to ride your wheel till we
No.
can switch on and off. Nah.
Talk to us about this.
Yo,
This is a little different. I'm
I'm
surprised.
sitting here like, wait a
I'm
minute.
surprised. I thought, because in other sports, game kind of recognizes game, like, yo, like, all right, this person's legit, like they're going to give me a good run or
No.
whatever.
Case in point, one of the races in Milwaukee at Toad, there was a few of us that made the break, but no one wanted to work together to keep the break. And I would say about 3 laps to go, the field caught us.
Right. So
Y'all
it's
was out
like,
here
why
arguing.
even do the break?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no.
Right. Wow.
That's
And
gotta
I
be
think also
frustrating.
if they see me in the break, they're not gonna want to work with me because
They're going to help you.
no, they know that I'm a sprinter, and if they
So they're like-
if they don't feel like they can
So
outsprint
basically,
me, they're
they
not
know that
gonna
she's
want
going to win.
they're not gonna
Like,
want to
yeah,
work
I'm not
with
going
me.
to help you win.
Right. Right.
Which is weird. That's weird.
That's your strong point? Like, would you consider yourself a sprinter?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got a little kick, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm
Yeah,
saying.
little
Fast
something.
twitch.
Little something.
You know, got a little fast twitch with it.
Nah, that's
Is there any other part of cycling that you're interested in, whether it be track or gravel or mountain biking, or are you just good where you are right now?
So I also ride the velodrome. So I
Okay.
do ride the
Oh.
velodrome. I would like to try endurance track events, but I don't know how I'm going to fit that in my schedule. So
Right.
right now I'm focused on crits. I do velodrome just for fun of it now, but I would eventually like to try some endurance sports.
So what's an endurance track event? Is it like you're just riding like 5K? I mean, like, I'm sorry, 50K?
So no, they're
Around and around and around
like
on the
Match
velodrome, or-
Point, the Karen. There's different types of races.
Okay.
So not just you're sprinting, because that's pretty much what people go to the velodrome for, to
Yeah.
help with their sprint.
Right.
So more of like the endurance races.
Gotcha.
What's the one when you follow the moped around? What's that?
That's the Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just timed. It's just you and that person, right?
So now I'm not a pro at the track. I just go for fun. But we do like have motor pacing sessions at the velodrome, and depending on what he calls for us to do, like we would have to chase the moped and get back on it and drive and recover, or he'll just take us around at a high pace.
Hold that for whatever period of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Usually about 25 laps.
We didn't talk about this. You have a coach.
I do.
Okay.
Shout out to Coach
GC.
Coach GC.
Coach
shout out
GC.
Based out of
Coach
Colorado.
GC. Okay. Oh,
Yes.
so it's remote coaching.
It is remote coaching.
How
works.
is that? Yeah, give us the deets.
Yeah.
I like it.
How did
Okay.
you find Coach GC? Is it a guy? Is it a lady?
Yeah, it's a guy. So he was referred to me. I actually interviewed 4 guys. So he was referred to me, and then I liked him out of the rest of the other ones that I interviewed. But he uploads my training onto Training Peaks.
Yep.
So I do kind of have like type A personality a little bit. Like I like to know what's going to be required of me. So he sets the plan. I can see what I'm doing for the whole week. I can plan my week, my day. We talk every day after workouts. I write my notes in Training Peaks, and he gives me comments and feedback. So he's awesome.
I'm so trash at writing notes and training.
awesome.
I write them all the time.
I know you do.
Yeah.
I know you
I
do.
write them all the
I
time.
gotta do
awesome.
better about that.
Because we have a coach that we
Yeah.
use to just, help us get fit, become better cyclists. So does the coach work with you on nutrition?
He tries to.
Tries to. Do you
Yes.
have anyone that helps you with nutrition?
No,
How is your nutrition?
trash.
Same.
I have
Yo.
no help,
Sure.
and
She-
I
she
need it.
hinted
I
at
would
it.
say that is the hardest part about cycling
It
is you kill so many calories on the bike, and then
Yes.
when you get off, you just want to eat.
Yes.
So
And it's like, come on, you ruined all these strawberries.
Right.
Come on now, this burger is gonna put me where I need to be.
Exactly. Gonna give me the love I need to feel right now. Burger and fries. I need your love this evening. Yes.
Right. So this interview process, why was it important for you to interview coaches, and what was the requirements that you were looking for out of those coaches?
So it was important for me to interview coaches because I knew what I wanted to accomplish. And at the time, I wanted to get stronger. I wanted to start racing, and I wanted to pretty much put myself in the best position to do that. It's like investing in yourself.
Yep.
You're not going to go and take the SAT or ACT without taking a prep course or studying, buying some kind of book to prepare for it.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure that I, had a coach that can at least put me on the right track to begin racing and be somewhat successful in it. Some of my requirements was availability. Like I did not want to have a coach that if I needed to talk to him about, my training or understand the data, that he wouldn't be available.
I'll call you back tomorrow.
Yeah, like there was one coach I interviewed, and he's like, you get one talk every 2 weeks.
What?
No.
And I'm like, I have to pay you $250, $300 to talk to me like twice a month? No, I'm not doing that.
Nah.
You might as well just put up some YouTube videos. I'll check them.
Right.
So I wanted a coach also that would not allow me to slack. And it's easy to become complacent or slack, especially if you're doing this by yourself. Like
Yeah.
having a coach that's not here locally and you riding by yourself, you have to be fully invested and fully focused.
Yep.
And so the moment you see me slacking, it's okay to pick up the phone and say, what's going on?
Yep.
So my coach, he does that. He'll ask me, what's going on? How's work-life balance? I can tell, by your heart rate, by this, like, something else is going on. Did you eat? Are you stressed at work? And I'm like, yeah, I am.
Yep.
So
That's
just
the
someone to
hardest
be
part.
real with me.
Yeah.
Yep. That is the hardest part about training, is staying motivated. So what are some of the things that you do to stay motivated? Because your coach isn't like local, he's not knocking on your door, waking you up at 4 a.m. Like, what do you do?
To stay motivated, I think about one of the first races I did, which was super hard, and how I got caught behind an accident and technically got dropped because there was no free laps. And having my family there and knowing that feeling like a failure, feeling like I wasn't fit enough to hang with the pack. I just think about those moments and I'm like, nope, got to get up, got to get it done, because I don't want that to happen again.
Wow.
That's dope. But what about when you just like mentally, like you just
Mentally
have
drained?
it's just like a
One of
shitty
those
day
days,
today, right?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
What do I do to stay motivated?
Yeah,
I take
like-
a day off.
copy that.
A little break.
You can do that. You're allowed to take a day off. And I eat ice cream.
There go
Say
that
it
diet
again.
again.
Like, right.
And I eat ice cream. So the days where I just do not have it in me, I write a note to my coach, I can't ride today. I didn't sleep well, had a rough day at work. I need a day off. He'll adjust the schedule as well. And I take off and I eat ice cream.
That's
what's
the
up.
beauty about Training Peaks, is you can move a program from
Yes.
one day to the
Yeah.
next and still accomplish what you need to for the week.
And that's good that your coach is letting you know that missing one day or even 2 sessions isn't going to derail you.
Yeah, for
Correct.
sure. You still find, like, regular, everyday people cycling enjoyment? Like you're not Sheerie racing. You're just, hey, I'm just riding my bike today. You still find enjoyment in that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think you have to, right?
Yeah.
Like in order to race, like once you hate, like there are like pro cyclists overseas who take years off from the sport because they lost the love for it.
Yeah.
So you got to keep the love. Otherwise, like, what are you racing for? And plus, it's not like for us here in the States, we're making like hella money.
Right.
Right.
Trish, are
Don't
you getting
quit your day
paid?
job.
Are you getting paid? Right, exactly.
Don't
Exactly.
quit that J
You
job.
know?
Exactly.
So, wow. Any more questions?
No, I do have one. I do have one. So we were talking about like that motivation and riding with others. Do you find now that you have local success? I mean, like you, in your state, like you are a person. Like Sharice is the thing, right? Like you're a whole thing, right? Like so when you go on a ride, do people like even with your like just colleagues or you're leading a raffle ride, do people try to test you? Like
Absolutely.
oh yeah, I'm about to turn up, and you're like, this isn't
Absolutely.
that.
Always.
Turn up.
What
How
about
do
the
you-
men? Do the men?
Oh, the men do it worse.
They try to measure themselves
Absolutely.
by.
And
That
I'm
is
like,
that's the
you
wildest
have so
thing
much
ever.
more testosterone than me. And don't let me finish a ride and they get dropped. Oh, it's over.
That's wild
It
to
is
me.
over.
Wow, like wait,
Yes.
this crowd, hold on, pause here.
It's
Let's
over.
Talk about this. So what happens? Like, all right, you're on a ride, you're doing your thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're not dropped. You're finishing with the first whatever.
Finishing with,
grouping,
yeah.
right? And then there are people who finish after you. Are they talking to you? Are they saying things to you?
They aren't saying things to me, but other people are like clowning them. And so now they're
Oh,
like,
they're juicing it. Okay.
yeah.
Oh, that's why Sheerie dusted you.
But I did have one guy come up to me, listen, as long as it was you that dropped me, I'm okay. I feel good. Nobody else. So I was like,
okay.
all right.
Wow. And you're like, sir, I'm the state champion for my
Yeah.
category.
I'm
Right.
really like, sir, I'm just riding my bike and having a good time. That's it.
Right.
No, but like legit, like you train and
I
like,
do train.
like not everybody who's out here riding their bikes are doing this, right? Like I equate it to like let's say basketball, right? Like some of these group rides, people try to treat them like a pickup game, right?
Yeah, they
like
do.
it's like a pickup race, so to speak. Like they're
Yeah.
artificial things, or maybe they're designated things for the area or whatever. But you're just there to ride.
I am.
Right? And it's like, like I don't get paid to race, but I actually go to races where I race. This is not it. So
That's crazy.
It's crazy, right? Like, so does that impact your love at all?
No.
Okay, good.
No, I know certain rides. If I do go to a group ride, other than a raffle ride, even raffle ride, sometimes on Friday, at the end we try to turn it up a little bit. Like I just know it's expected. Like somebody's gonna be there trying to see. Okay, when is she gonna make a move? Is she gonna make a move? Is she gonna sprint? Let me see if I can sprint. So
The raffle rides here on Friday or
on Friday,
Biscayne loops.
yeah, keep his cane.
Yeah. I crossed the bridge a couple times, right?
Yeah,
Have you joined the Don Pond ride?
I have.
And how's that?
It's nice.
Okay, that's such a nice
Okay.
way of saying it.
Like,
So,
it's nice.
can you explain the Don Pond ride for our listeners and viewers, and like what it is and what it consists of?
It is a huge peloton of mixed levels of riders going over Key Biscayne Bridge all the way down to the fire station, making a U-turn, going back over the bridge, going back over the bridge again, doing 3 loops at, I would say, 27 to 30 miles per hour.
Wow.
A
That's pretty
huge
fast.
peloton of at least 100 people.
Oh,
That's
wow.
and this happens every Sunday.
Every Sunday. Yes.
What time?
I believe that ride starts at 7:30.
AM? Oh, that's what Janelle was talking about. She wants us to jump in that one.
Yeah, no thanks. For a few reasons.
So wait, so are there times where a move is made? Like, do you just because you've done it so much?
No,
is it like-
usually when I do Don Pond, I sit in. I don't try to make moves because it's with men, racing with men or riding with men. I let them have it.
What's the ratio out there between men and women?
Oh, I would probably say 20 to 1.
Sheesh.
Wow.
How
And it's
many?
100 people.
Yeah,
So like, damn, they're like 5 women.
There's not
It's
a
like
lot of
20.
women.
Wow, what? One
And then if
kid.
I go, I would be the only African American woman.
I was gonna ask you.
Wow.
Oh, it's like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
How about in Miami period? Like, do you see yourself like as the only African American woman that you see in most groups or clubs or in the cycling scene, or is there a lot of? Because I don't know. I'm not from here.
So there are a few local groups like Breaking a Cycle, Big Wheel, as I mentioned earlier, that have black women that cycle, but it's still less than 10
Yeah.
that will be riding the bike. As far as competitive, I am the only one right now.
That's wild to me.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Okay, so let me ask you this question. Have you tried to get other black women into the sport at a competitive level?
I have.
And what's the response?
I got to get up and go to work. I got kids. I got bills to pay.
Yeah.
Life.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy.
So
Yes.
what about like the younger women
Yeah.
under you?
You might have to go to these colleges and start
Yeah.
recruiting or something like that.
You're right, because there aren't many like collegiate women that are cycling, especially black women that I see.
Yeah.
So what is it like just being a black woman in the sport? Because you're new to the sport, right? And you've had this level of success. What is that like for you just in general and overall?
I think that might be a little difficult to answer because like when I'm in the sport or when I'm racing and when I'm riding, I don't look at it as, okay, I'm the only black woman here until maybe like after the fact when I'm like, dang, I really was the only black chick out there. Like,
After so you stop socializing, you look around.
right.
Man, it's just me.
And so, like, when I look at how Aisha McGowan did the grant to allow for more women of color to be able to do some of these big races, like Toad, Intelligentsia Cup, Gateway Cup, Tulsa Tough, where we were not
Tulsa.
represented
Yeah.
in those races. And I see why, that grant was created for us to have a place and a face in the sport.
Yeah.
So, as far as me, I'm still trying to figure out how I can, or I don't even know if I'm doing it now, but how I can, help to grow the sport and include more black women.
Wow. Well, I definitely think your success does a lot to
Yeah.
be a beacon, right, for others that you don't know that may see you on IG or may have heard of you, and now that will watch or listen to this, right? Like sometimes that can be way more than any words that you can say, just your performance as an athlete.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sheerie is currently recruiting right now. She's trying to put a team together. You know what I mean?
I am.
You know what
So
I'm
wait,
saying?
so what about the other women of color? Are there any that ride competitively here locally or that you see when you travel?
So, Miami, you have a large Hispanic
Right.
population. So majority of the women that I race against here in Miami are Hispanic.
Interesting.
Yes.
But do they try to like, hey, you should join our team? Obviously not, right? But is there camaraderie though? Do they see you as like, even though like you're a competitor, but like, like this is my sister, like she's dope, like she's.
I communicate with some of them outside of, the race scene.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yes. So some of them are supportive, especially when I went and traveled and raced and won. They were like, wow. And I think that may have inspired them to, leave out of Miami next year to go and find a few races.
Wow.
But as far as the Spanish teams, like they stick together, they roll together, and when we're racing, they speak Spanish. So
It ain't no playing around.
Yeah. That's
They're
how it is
speaking
in the
Spanish.
tri-state area.
Yeah,
Nah,
it's the
same thing.
It's the
Yeah.
same
Yeah,
for
it's the
us.
same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's coming up for you immediately?
immediately,
Hopping on that trainer?
yeah.
Yeah. Won't put that work in. Yeah. Same for
Yeah, I'll
us.
be going to Jamaica. Did you all go to Jamaica
No, we
this
didn't.
year? No, I'll be going to Jamaica in 2 weeks to go and get some climbing training in.
Interesting. You can just come up north.
Yeah,
But but it's Jamaica and up
right,
north.
right,
True.
It's
That's
snowing. It's
true.
cold.
right?
Turn that
Right.
down.
Yeah.
So I guess there'll be no Alpe du Zwift for you, right?
And then the Valley of the Sun race, that is going to be a stage race. So I'm actually excited about that because it's crit, road,
Right.
and TT.
Would that be your first stage race?
My second
Second. Where'd you do your first?
at Chain of Lakes in Gainesville, Florida.
Oh.
Well, you've done
did
time
that.
trials before?
Yes.
Yeah?
That is not my specialty, but I've done it.
Because you sprint, you're not,
Like
you know,
hold.
like hold power.
Right. Sustained.
I can hold my own.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
There it is. There it is.
She was like, I don't have no weaknesses. I don't know what you're talking about.
I do.
As she said prior to that, I'm not that good. Wait a minute.
It's
now.
not my best,
Right.
but I can hold my own.
Right.
I can get by.
That's dope.
How much do you care about the data? Like, some people are so like Strava heavy, and they look at their numbers.
Strava warriors. We're like, oh, Sheerie was zone 2 today, so I gotta be zone 2.
Like, are you deep into the data?
I'm learning more and more now that I'm working with GC how to interpret my data. Like before, I would just look
Interesting.
at it like, oh, okay, I'm just going, 20 miles per hour. Oh, okay, today I'm at 16 miles per hour. But understanding my heart rate zones and my power zones, that's what he's teaching me.
Now you on these zone, doing
I'm
zone
on a
2
zone.
rides.
I'm on a zone. So when I do my zone 2 rides, 5 hours, being heart rate zone 2 as well as power zone 2, knowing how to adjust your cadence based on, what it is that you're training for. So some of my tempo rides, I'll be at a lower cadence, and then some of them I'll be at a higher cadence, mixing it up like that, but still holding the watts.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
As far as like interpreting data, I look at my data. I don't really focus on everyone else's data. And what's most important to me is
Strava.
performance.
Right.
Because I know people that can hold watts for days, but they aren't winning.
Right.
It's me.
I'm saying they race and they're not winning. So, it's not all about just, watts. It's a major component, but at the same time, you got to know how to manage your heart rate,
Yeah.
and just
I think
be
what you
smart
just
about
said is big, right? Because especially for a lot of folks that came into this during the pandemic, they were on the virtual applicate like Zwift or Trainer Road or Sufferfest or whatever, and it has become about what's your FTP, how many watts can you hold, what's your maximum power that you can put out, and it's so refreshing to hear you talk about like you actually have to know racecraft. Like this isn't just how many watts you can hold, right? Like when you're out here and you're racing it against other people, there's skill that's involved. Right? Because earlier you talked about being boxed in or being behind a crash, and effectively you got dropped because, right, you didn't get a lap to, so that's huge.
Now all that generating power, cadence, speed, all of that stuff is important. But I think it's hand in hand with the strategy.
Absolutely.
You could have all this together. Your strategy trash, you out of here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, to put
Even
both of
on
those together.
group rides, you need strategy.
Yes.
Like on the ride we did today, you forgot how many stoplights Miami has.
Oh my God. And we caught every red.
We caught literally
Caught every
every
red.
red, and it was like we would hammer it for a little bit,
Then stop.
and then stop. Hammer for a little bit, and then stop. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm doing intervals right now."
Yeah, pretty much.
Kate's gonna be happy for me, Andre.
Right.
Trainers.
Shout out to Kate.
Yeah, but because of that interval training that she put us through, I was able to adjust.
Yeah,
But
without
also,
any issue.
like being smart enough to shift down coming out of those red lights and being able to shift up.
Yeah.
Like if you don't understand like the strategy in cycling, and Zip taught us this is total system efficiency. It's just being a more efficient cyclist.
Yes.
that gets lost on people.
Yes,
Yes.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm learning how to be more efficient. So talk to us about that, what that means for you.
Being efficient, it means everything, because you have to know how to conserve your energy, know how to rest, especially during racing. Know how to rest. You can't be in the front all the time and then expect to win the race.
It's dangerous.
Yes. So you always want to be effective. And I will say this, when I first started training with GC and racing too, my trainings weren't going that well. Like I was struggling holding steady power, but I would go and win a race. And he was like, well, Sheerie, at this point, you are a better racer than you are a student, a trainer. And that's fine.
That's dope that he said that.
That's
Like, look,
fine.
I'm like,
got
wait,
nothing
I'll be
for
like,
you.
wait, are you complimenting me? Like,
right.
He's like, you're a better racer than you are, a student. But we worked through it, and now I can hold steady power. So now I am able to be more efficient on the bike when training and racing.
Yes.
So, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, efficiency.
And you can tell in group rides, just thinking about group rides a lot, who's not efficient. It's all in their body language on the bike. And it's like, okay, this person's going to blow up in like 2 miles.
3, 2,
Yes.
1, you're done.
Yep.
And it's so again, we're guys, right? And testosterone is alive and well. So
Yeah.
like so even on the ride that we were doing today, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun, but you can see how you can notice when people are on their limit, but they don't want to accept that they're on their limit, and how that creates sketchy situations.
Yes.
Because it's like your heart rate seems pretty high, buddy, because you're like behind me, and I'm like, or if it's in front of me, I'm like, how can I get away from this situation? Because I don't know if any moment now something's going to occur where you lose your focus.
No, yeah, that's what it is. When the fatigue sets in, or not even just fatigue, but elevated heart rate, you're just unable, or it diminishes your ability to whatever decisions you're making, or if somebody's coming like beside you, or you know what I mean, like you
happened
start
today.
passing people, like you just it
Yeah,
just starts to
sketchy.
drop off. Yeah, it gets
sketchy.
bad.
yeah,
Like,
the sketchy
It
moment.
was
That's
sketchy.
tough.
Some people just aren't comfortable at high speeds.
Yeah.
Also.
That's true.
it actually feels, to me personally, it just feels more comfortable at that high speed. It feels like even though we're going that fast, like things are slowing down.
Yes.
The
Yes.
move, everything is. I can look at stuff and see things happening at a slower rate.
Almost like tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when if we're in a group ride and we're bunched up and we're moving at a slower pace, that's when all that
Yes.
when you
Some
start
people
falling
aren't,
and tumbling.
like you say, comfortable with riding at high speeds as well as being in a Peloton with someone that close to them. So that can definitely.
I actually get more
Sketchy
comfortable
situation.
in close quarters with
Yeah.
people for some reason. And at high speeds, I'm way more comfortable.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, when I ride with these guys, like I'm literally, if any one of them is with me, I'm looking for them. And I'm just like, okay, I need to make sure we stay together or I stay next to them. And even if I have to work to do that, I would rather do that because I know what to expect, right? If they're on my wheel or if I'm on their wheel, or they may see things and they may call it out like, yo, Chris, watch this, or we may do that or vice versa. But it's very difficult to do when you don't know people.
Yeah.
Because and I don't know if you experience this, because you ride with guys a lot too, or when you ride with women, but like, have you ever been in a situation where, prior to racing, because racing is probably different, but like you're in a fast group ride and you're like, the person here doesn't seem like they know what's going on, or like, you know what I mean? Like where it doesn't feel right. You
gotta make
a
and you're
move.
trying to make it right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like how do you handle that?
Find a better position.
Yeah.
Fast.
ASAP.
Move away from that wheel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if you
now.
have to slow down and let a few people get in front of you, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Copy.
Have you taken it down
Been
on your bike? Like,
one
on the
time.
ground?
Yes.
Really?
One time in a race. That was my first time at Toad. I actually went down twice in the same race.
Wow.
And then I called it. I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Somebody ain't aiming for me.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm good.
At Told they were giving out the free laps?
Yes.
Yeah, they let you catch
Can you
up.
describe what happened?
So I was behind Lana. She's pretty tall, so I
Yeah.
can't really see, around her.
That draft
But
is
I
dope.
was recovering at the time.
That draft is real. Shout out to Lana.
shout out to
Yeah.
Lana with Soar Foundation.
Yes, but there was a crash on the right, and then the people in front of Lana was not paying attention that there was a pileup happening on the right. So then they ended up hitting one of the individuals that fell. And so when I tried to maneuver to the left, I actually went over and flipped off the bike.
Every time I see an
But
accident,
I was not injured, no scratches, no broken bones. So I was very thankful.
every time you see an accident, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not the initial whatever happens up
No.
there. It's everybody else that.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
that happened to you with
Yes.
in Harlem. Same thing.
Yes.
Yep.
And then I got a free lap. I jumped back in, and then maybe 2 laps after that, a young lady was turning, and it was like a pin tight turn, and she tried to pedal through it.
Clip up.
And so when she pedaled through it, she was right here on my left side. And so when she slid, and then her bike kind of like went under mine, and I was like, "Yep, yeah, I got it.
That's
I'm
it
pulling
for the
out for
day."
today."
So your SL6 got some blemishes on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Ugh, painful.
That's right.
I'm in the market for a new bike though.
All right, well, you know.
Looking for a bike sponsor too.
I am looking for a bike sponsor.
State champion needs a bike.
Yes.
Looking for a bike sponsor. Any names? You know where to bring it.
Yep. Well, Sheerie, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
definitely appreciate
Thank
for
you,
you
joining
guys.
us.
coming through.
This is fun.
It's always fun connecting with you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
We gotta do that more.
Hopefully, we'll see you in 2023 at one of these races.
Oh no,
I
we
might
traveling.
come up to Harlem. I might.
You should do Harlem.
I might.
It's
come
fast
up to-
and it's four corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's spicy.
I
It's,
might
No,
come
but-
up to Harlem.
spicy.
The biggest ingredient, like at least that we found, because Chris actually ran it, but the energy was nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Because it's
just
mostly
the fan.
us,
It's
right?
crazy.
Like black and brown folks that
Yeah.
are out there
Yeah.
enjoying it. You can feel that in the air,
Yeah.
right? From the music that's playing, from just like
Yeah.
the whole vibe. That's
I would say, because I watched Crits all season, the only thing that comes close to Harlem would be Tulsa.
Tulsa, yeah.
Yeah.
Like in
Sure.
terms of crowd size.
Okay.
But Harlem, it's us out there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of.
And it's
you
just
know.
it's not closed, but it's just an actual city block, boom, around the park.
It's around the park.
So you could, and they close the streets off, so it's basically a closed course. And so yeah, there's fans all around, and it's just the energy is just up the whole day. We started. Chris ran a category 5, so we were out there like 7:00 in the morning, right?
Yeah, we were out there like 12 hours.
Yeah.
And that was my
up.
first
It was
race.
up all day.
Yes.
Yeah.
You liked it?
Oh my God. At first I was like, what is going on? And then I was yelling to the side to them, like, I figured it out. I know what to do now. And it was just like everything kind of clicked and
Yes.
everything started to slow down. I started wasting less energy, becoming more efficient, and then there was a massive crash. And I avoided it, but I rode over the dude's derailleur and I ended up flatting. So I was just like, yeah, I can't. I tried though.
You did it.
Yeah, sure. You should definitely do.
I didn't race last season except for Zwift. And I got third place.
And, right. But Arc did
Listen,
though.
Swift, they
Nah,
You
them
know?
what? Those Swift races are real, boy.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
but that was like what, the category C or something like it.
No, but yo,
It wasn't category
you placed,
A.
Bro, you placed. It
I
doesn't
was
matter.
hyped too. I was like,
Right.
yeah.
you placed.
That was real.
And it wasn't a small group either.
Yeah.
You know, like, cause sometimes you could hop on a Zwift race and it'd be like 5 of y'all.
And it's like, hey, I got second.
Yeah, it's like, come on, son.
Nah,
Right.
but it was dope. Thank you for
Yes.
Thank you, Sheerie.
Thank you,
for
Sheerie,
joining
for
us.
joining us on the
you, guys.
Moral Watts podcast.
That's right, y'all.
Absolutely. So tell our folks again where to find you on IG.
Yes.
at love_re23. Check me out.
Please do.
Yes.
We're gonna see nothing but
Please do.
podiums, boy. That's
Yeah,
it.
we're now her agent.
we
Now
push
you gotta come through us for the
Through us.
sponsorships.
Yep.
Nah, I'm kidding.
And
No,
we need a
seriously, yes. Hopefully, 2023, you find a sponsor, a bike sponsor. Sounds like Big Wheel
Big
Cycling.
Wheel Cycles, yes.
Okay, they're holding you down from a
Kid.
support.
Support, they help
Sponsorship.
with, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
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 They
Dope.
do. But I've also added 2 other sponsors in addition to Big Wheels for next season.
Okay.
So for the sponsors that if you had your way, what sponsors would you have? Like what type of sponsorship would it be? Travel, bike, like what would it be? Let's put it out there. Let's put it out
Yes,
into the
absolutely.
universe.
So bike is number 1. Bike is number 1 because right now, like I said, I only have 1 bike.
Yep.
So if anything happens to that bike, then I'm, SOL, just waiting for something else to come up.
So when you say bike, we mean tires, we mean frame,
Group
Yes.
set.
we mean
All
group
equip-
set,
all
we
that.
mean wheel set. Cool, got
Yes.
it. All right, and what else?
And then a sponsor to help with race fees and traveling.
Traveling. Yep.
Race fees and traveling.
Because everything that I've done outside of the grant, which was fully covered for Tour of America's Dairyland, I paid for it. Like I funded. So my travel, for the most part, to Chicago, to St. Louis, and some of the other races, it was me.
Them joints end up doubling up as
It
vacation
does.
time. You got to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Get some entertainment in.
Right.
Right.
Big Wheels helped a little bit, but for the most part, I came out of the pocket.
That's what's
to
up.
make it
Sheesh.
Wow.
I don't know. Black Watts is
Nah, we make a change. Yeah, we gonna make some changes. You know what I mean?
You feel like, hey, we're all thinking the same thing. Like, like, hey.
Throw
We can
that
make
lightning
that
bolt on your
Yeah.
jersey.
On the
you
jersey,
know?
on the helmet.
Do it. Let's do it.
You know, we got lightning blue on you somewhere.
Make it happen, y'all.
Yeah, yeah. But thank you for tuning in to a super special episode with Sheerie. We're down here in the Rafa Miami store. Thank you so much to the crew here in Miami for letting us intervene during their retail time.
Yes, shout out to Jenna in New York.
Yes.
Shout out to Janelli here locally.
Yep.
And all the team here in Rafa Miami.
Yep. They
Love y'all. Thank you.
They hooked
Thank
us
you.
up with chips and water and
water and snacks.
the espresso was always fire as usual.
On point.
So when you're here in Miami, please say what's up to the crew here. And if you see Sheerie in the streets, don't try her. She will smoke your ass.
ASAP.
ASAP.
And be standing on the podium.
I'll play nice. I'll play nice.
ASAP. I'm talking about T.I. style. ASAP. Look that up if you don't know what that is.
Yes. Once again, follow us on IG, Black Watch Cycling, on YouTube, Black Watch Cycling, on SoundCloud, Spotify, and
That's it.
that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Facebook.
We're on Facebook too.
Oh yeah,
Cycling.
Facebook. Yes. All right,
Check out
y'all.
YouTube.
All right.
More watts.
Peace.